right. Bearkat fans. Do we have Bearkat fans in the house? Oh, my goodness gracious. Wow. Well, I'm Rob Hipp. Thanks for joining us for the big Bearkat. Now, look at my man back. Hey, let's give it up for the staff at Sam Houston. They do a great job. Thank you, guys. Man. So we were on the call. We got nervous, and then it was just a final few moments. We came back, and we beat the Jackrabbits. We are the national champions, Bearkat fans. First time in program history, and what a great day it has been to be a Bearkat fan, and we get to bring that championship trophy back to Huntsville, Texas for the first time in the FCS program history for the Bearkats. One more round for that.
All right. Yes.
I joked around and I said I've pulled another hernia on that radio call, so I've got 5 now. I'm going to have to go to emergency surgery. But Sam Houston taking care of business. Eric Schmid, a spectacular night. Schmitty! He had a great night, but man, Ife Adeyi, what a game for Glue. We're going to start calling him Glue. He could not drop a pass in that game. Brian Adams, the former Bearkat quarterback in the house. Get up for old Brian over here.
Man, what an incredible game. I mean, to call yourselves champions is absolutely amazing. So proud of the Bearcats, all the fans, family, players, former players that came to watch this incredible game and be a part of this incredible journey. Absolutely amazing.
We're bringing that championship trophy back to Huntsville, Texas. Now we can hang one at Bowers that say, "We are the champions, baby." How about that for the
Yes,
Bearkats?
how about that?
And you know what's exciting? It's just a few months from now we get to start it all over again. So
Right.
excited. Carlos Zimmerman, Jordan Smith in the house. They were on the student radio call. Let's give it up for those guys. Great work. And how about, have any of y'all been here the whole time since Steve Ricks was here? He held it down. Well, let's give it up for Steve over at K-Sam. Ricks! And Mr. Greg Laird of the Lake Radio. He came all the way from Horseshoe Bay, Texas, baby. And his beautiful wife, Lisa. Thank y'all for being here.
Thank you so much.
And one big round of applause for our good friend Ed and all of the staff here at Twin Peaks, Frisco.
Thank you
Thank
so
you guys
much.
for having us. And this has been the big Bearkat Natty Bash, and we're going to have another one coming up in the fall. How about that? So,
Absolutely.
all right, well, we're going to continue a little post-game. We'll talk here in a few minutes. Again, I think we're still trying to catch our breath, so we're going to take a break. Enjoy the food. Enjoy the drinks. Enjoy the views of a Bearkats victory here at Twin Peaks. We'll be back in a moment, friends. All right, guys, I got a little prize to give away. I got a Bearkat hat up here by our good friend Stephanie Pitts of Advantage Specialties. Officially licensed product. Hey, and Stephanie, is the championship gear coming now? When is that going to be happening? Wednesday. The presses are hot back in Huntsville for championship gear. All right, I'm going to give away a hat. Who can tell me the final score of the game today? Oh, there you go, 21-20. She was quick on the money. Nathan passed that over. She gets the first hat. So we made it easy. She was quick on the spot. You got to be quick as we're continuing to celebrate the Bearkats' victory here live from Twin Peaks, Frisco. Enjoy the food. Keep hanging out. Hey, on the count of 3, let's say eat 'em up, Cats. Y'all ready? 1, 2, 3. Eat 'em up, Cats! Oh, man, the party is continuing here. We don't get to party much, so I got to get on the road before too long. I got to get back and see my beautiful fiance. But, Brian, this one isn't going out over public here, but you got to be proud with the effort of Sam Houston. They get their first I bumped my elbow and it kind of came out first. They get their first FCS national champ. Now, they won a national championship back in the NAIA days. That's why I got to be careful and say the first FCS championship. But what a season. If you're on the radio call, of course, back at Huntsville or on the booth with Brian and I, just a phenomenal afternoon. It was another game that literally went down to the wire. Brian, what was going through your head whenever those Jackrabbits came back and took the lead there late in the fourth?
Well, obviously that was a scary moment. But the thing about the Bearcats, and you and I have seen it this whole playoff run, is that is a group of guys that never give up. And I was not worried because I felt the same thing was going to happen. And sure enough, that's exactly what happened. This team, the heart, you talk about Rudy Tomjanovich used to be a championship coach for the Rockets. He called him the heart of the champion. That is what the Bearcats are. That is what they proved here today and all year long. Just what an amazing ride.
We appreciate all of our friends back on social media land, on YouTube, of course, also on Facebook, on the KSAM Sports Facebook page. We're live here at Twin Peaks, Frisco. A game for the ages. It took a victory versus a very good Monmouth team. A team that one came down to Isaiah Downs with an interception in the end zone. And then it was North Dakota State, a team that Sam Houston had never beaten in the FCS playoffs. The last victory versus North Dakota State goes back to a non-conference contest in 2009 with a victory at Bowers. Then you have to go through James Madison. 24-3, the Bearcats in that contest. 28 points scored in just over 5 minutes late in the third. And then today, again, the Jackrabbits take the lead, but the Bearcats on the final drive, we're going to nickname him Glue, man. I'm telling you, Ife Glue Adei
right?
could not drop a pass today. He has been really one of the finest throughout these playoffs. Of course, Jaquez Ezzard, he gets a lot of credit. Showtime with some great footwork as well. We saw him, some great receptions. And even Ezzard almost had his third return for a touchdown today, but that was called back on a penalty. Penalties were a little bit of a problem for the Cats in this ballgame, but the Jackrabbits as well, Brian.
Well, you know what? That's one of the things, when you play Sam Houston, the Jackrabbits haven't had a lot of penalties in any of the games they've played in. They're a very disciplined team, but the Bearcats are so disruptive, and they make you get out of your game plan, and that's what happened to the Jackrabbits today. Let me talk about a couple of people real quick. I got to talk about Eric Schmidt. Let me tell you, you talking about an absolute warrior. That guy, he did everything. He took it upon himself to carry those Bearcats to victory, selling his body, giving it up, putting everything on the line. And those linemen on both sides of the ball, the offense and the defensive linemen, man, my hat is off to those big guys, opening up the holes. That Orange Storm defense, plugging the holes, making stops, unbelievable.
Coach Keeler, the first coach in FCS program history with multiple championships with different teams now. He had one with Delaware, one with Sam Houston, now here today. Got to be excited for Coach Keeler, and he promised change, and that's tough for a coach to make that because, let's be honest, every coach makes that. But Coach Keeler believes it. He's one of the winningest coaches, top 150 coach, according by ESPN. He's been a great asset to the Sam Houston Bearcat community. Talk a little bit about Coach Keeler, Brian. 30-0 in home playoff games. It was so important to get that home playoff advantage.
What an incredible coach with an incredible record. And it's the culture. He talks about the culture around Sam Houston athletics, football in particular. You know, as you just said, Rob, several years ago we went to James Madison, North Dakota, and got beat handily. He decided right then and there to retool, make a team, prepare a team to win a national championship. The fruits of his labor, his vision, and Bobby Williams came together. They did what they set out to do, and they won it all.
Brings on a strength and conditioning coach, Parker Whiteman, who has been phenomenal. His wife, of course, also now the nutritionist, and she has done a great job with these guys. And those components, and we've mentioned it over several games, those components have all led now to a national championship. Brian, it still seems surreal for Bearkat fans, for us as broadcasters. I've only been doing it a couple years. You've been around the program for a very long time. I know this is a very joyous moment for you. It is for me, but I know more so for you and the Bearkat Nation, my friend.
Well, I'm just so excited for these Bearcats today and all the former Bearcats that played football from just way back when. I mean, we had some of those guys on our Bearkat Bash yesterday. It was so much fun to talk to them. Man, I consider it sweet vindication. Sam Houston has won it all because so many guys have gone out there, sold their bodies out there to win and to play. This game, this victory is a victory for all Bearcats.
We called it here at Twin Peaks as it was Bearkat Party headquarters, and of course that's what it's turned into, and hopefully we can do it all again in the fall. That's only coming up in September. It's going to be really exciting this fall, too, because Sam Houston moves into the new conference. They're going to have that conference alliance in the first season as we'll play different teams, but things really starting to come together. And as I mentioned earlier, just a big thank you to the Southland Conference for all that they've done over the past 40 years. Great leadership in that organization. We talk about Tom Burnett. I've also mentioned Josh Jonas several times. Going to miss those guys, but again, excited for Sam Houston with some new things happening and coming our way.
No question about it. I mean, you know, they've been in the Southland Conference for a long time, and the Southland Conference has really been, the officials have been really good to us and to Sam Houston. And what a way to go out. Your last year in the Southland Conference, you win it all. What a statement that says about the Southland Conference. You know, so I'm so excited. But next year, guess what? We're going to the WAC, and we're going to step into another arena, and we're going to take over where we left off today, and it is going to be a fun ride.
One other thing I'm excited, I know we've talked so much about football today, of course, the Bearcats, the FCS national champions, but one thing that I'm really going to enjoy about the WAC is now an opportunity for the basketball program under head coach Jason Hooten's leadership, the things that he has done with that program. And, you know, we've got some new guys coming, and we lost some really talented guys. There was a lot going on this offseason because, let's be honest, I mean, the NCAA said, hey, if you want to go and transfer, you can because of COVID. We lost some good talent. We brought in some great talent.
Great talent.
Very excited. And here's what I'm really, really looking forward to in the WAC. Now with the potential 2 bids to get into the NCAA tournament versus a 1 lone bid, I think this move to the WAC is really going to benefit our basketball programs as well.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think it's going to benefit basketball. It's going to benefit all the programs, you know, baseball, football, you know, all athletics within Sam Houston. I think it's such a great thing for the school, for the kids. I'm excited. I look forward to being a part of it next year. Man alive, I'm just so excited about what happened today, what happened all year long. I'm so proud of these kids, the fans, the students, the parents, everybody. I couldn't be more happy.
We're live from Twin Peaks, Frisco. It is home of the big Bearkat Natty Bash. We started it yesterday. We're continuing it here today for about 30 more minutes or so. And then we got to get on the road, man. I got to head back to G-Town. I've got to go see my beautiful fiance. You've got to get back to the Hunts Vegas. Actually, Hunts Championsville.
That's right.
What's the new name for Huntsville, man?
Hunts Championsville sounds great.
Hunts Championsville. So we got to head back over there. And you were joking earlier. We can say it here. We're not on radio, Brian. What were you going to say earlier?
Man, they're dancing on death row.
I didn't want to say that on the radio, but Brian wanted to say that. You know, I was going to say the old Gorbachev there instead of Mr. Gorbachev tear down this wall. It was going to be Warden tear down this wall. They're not going to do that. But hey, a lot of great things happening for our kids at Sam Houston. We'll step aside. We'll take a break. There'll just be some silence as we continue here. We'll come back on in a few minutes as we continue to talk about this wonderful victory. Sam Houston Bearcats, your 2020-21 FCS National Champions. It sounds so good,
Boy,
Brian.
That sounds great.
We'll be back in a moment. Stay with us. All right, friends, back at it here from the big Bearkat Natty Bash. Jordan, Carlos in the house. I'm going to send it over to you guys.
Absolutely. Thank you, Rob, for that. Man, what a game, Jordan. 23-21, the final. Here's we welcome you here on this big Bearkat Natty Bash celebration. As we've taken this one 23-21 over South Dakota State. What a game.
Oh, man, I tell you what, this is one of probably, I mentioned this on air when we were calling it on KSHE 90.5. This has got to be one of, if not one of the top 5 national championship games in the FCS. It's got to be one of the best national championship games in all of college football history. I mean, the way this game ended, the way the entire game transpired, everything that happened, the lightning delay seemed to kind of help change things a little bit for Sam Houston, give them the time to kind of refocus, refresh, and be able to get back on track and get to what happened to the end of the game where Eric Schmid, we finally saw him get back to where we saw him in the beginning of the season, making plays down the field, getting it to his guys, putting it in places only his guys could get to, and getting the game-winning touchdown to who else but Ife Adeyi to win the national championship.
I know there's a lot of celebration going on back home right now. Just been flipping through social media. They're partying at just about any restaurant you can imagine. They're partying at the Jolly Fox. They're partying at Big Easy's. Oh man, this is not just a win for the university. This is a win for the whole town. This town, I've said it for a long time, from the Bearcats to the Hornets. This is a winning town. And they do so good from the high school level to the college level, and this is such a huge win for everyone here in the house tonight at Twin Peaks. This is a win for just about everyone, and really a big win for the state of Texas too. It's been a long time since the state of Texas has been able to boast a national champion, and today they do.
Yeah, absolutely. And not only that, this is the first ever champion from the Southland Conference, who's the host conference for this entire event. And, of course, obviously the Bearcats are on their way out, heading over to the WAC starting in July. So kind of a grand goodbye, if you will, to the Southland Conference, giving them a title and giving the Bearcats their first title in program history. And, hey, third time's a charm. I've been saying it all week. Is third time the charm? They proved it today.
Today it was. Eric Schmid playing the game of his life down the stretch all the way to the end. Man, this kid, he is something else. This team is something else. Jaquez Ezzard, arguably, hands down the newcomer of the year. He was incredible for this team in this game, too. I mean, again, you and I said it on our broadcast on 90.5. Our heart goes out to South Dakota State. They played a well of a ball game. They did. They did not give up. They have a bright future in the FCS in the Missouri Valley. They have such a bright future, but today it's all about the Cats.
Yeah, and honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if this was the national championship next year.
Yeah.
I would not be surprised a bit. And give credit, like you said, obviously South Dakota State, a heck of a game for them. They played their hearts out, and at one point, before that last offensive drive started for Sam Houston, we were thinking South Dakota State just escaped with the national championship.
Yeah.
But the Bearcats fought back. They got the win. And, of course, also give credit to Isaiah Davis. What a heck of a game for him. Almost 200 yards on the ground himself for the Jackrabbits. He had a heck of a game.
He did.
And he did everything he could for his Jackrabbits. And in the end, it was pretty much just a matter of who got to the red zone last. That was pretty much everything. I would say who got the ball last, but obviously South Dakota State did. So pretty much whoever got in the scoring position last, whoever got to the red zone last was able to make the opportunity, and that ended up being Sam Houston.
We're going to keep on partying here through the night here at Twin Peaks. A big win for the Bearcats, 23-21 over South Dakota State. Man, there was 3 ways to watch it today, and all 3, I imagine, you could have just had a blast watching this incredible game. Like you said, one of the best national championships of all time. Jordan, one final thing before we hop off and we can go enjoy some good food here this evening. I'm not going to try and make you cry again after that after that sign-off we had on 90.5. Man, this was a swan song for you as well. It's the swan song for Sam Houston. It's a swan song for you as well. It's your last game as a student broadcaster. Just let me tell you, from this is really, I've called it the changing of the guard, if you will. You've been really a big staple at Sam Houston in the mass comm department. And now you hand off the torch to just about everyone else that's in this group. I'm not saying just to our good buddy Scott, to me, it's to a whole crew of people that we've brought on at NSMA at Sam Houston that are ready to be able to do this one day as well. What do you have to say to everyone back home, those watching here on our stream, and to all the people over there in the mass comm department at NSMA?
Well, obviously, a big thanks to everybody in the mass comm department. Is just a lot of opportunities have been created here at Sam Houston for students to do what we got to do today. And that's the main thing, is that when I got here, students didn't really have the opportunity to do what we do. And the fact that all of us together have been able to build this up to not just being an ability to do it, but making it one of the best sports broadcast groups and continue to ensure the reputation of the mass comm department as one of, if not the best in the Lone Star State, is something that I am glad that I was able to be a part of, and something that I'm glad I was able to help keep going and build up the NSMA program with y'all, obviously, because this wasn't just me. This wasn't just me. This was everybody who signed up, who did a game, who sent in anything for awards, who ever board opt anything. This all goes to every single person who has ever been a part of NSMA, who's ever been a part of the mass comm department. Today was for y'all.
Yeah, absolutely. Couldn't have said it better myself. Well, we'll keep on partying here at Twin Peaks here on the big Bearkat Natty Bash celebration here for the national champions, the Sam Houston Bearcats. As I'll turn things back over to my good friend and colleague, sports director at KSAM, Rob Hipp. Thank you, guys, for keep tuning in here today, and continue to enjoy and have fun. Eat 'em up, Cats.
Eat 'em up, Jordan. Well, I appreciate you guys very much. I'm going to step around back here. Carlos, oh man, this is kind of a weird angle. Carlos, Jordan, they do great work. Thank you guys very much. We'll step aside. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back in just a couple of minutes. We got one more prize to give away, and then we're going to sign it off here from Frisco, Texas. Stay with us. All right, friends. Let's go on it one more time here real quick, Brian. One last final time. We got to wind down. It has been a long day, brother, but we appreciate our good friends here at Twin Peaks Frisco. All right, Twin Peaks, Bearkat fans, you guys having fun tonight? Bearkat fans! Bearkat fans! Bearkat fans! There they are! Let's go! Got to get them excited up in here. All right, man. Hey, we got one more prize to give away before we sign off and head out of here. It has been a fun day for Bearkat fans, for the FCS. I'm very proud that our kids got to play a game, many games this year despite COVID. Sam Houston Bearcats, 17 sports during COVID. How about that for Bobby Williams, our athletic director? Can we give them a big thank you? Incredible work by our university staff being able to make that happen. We got one more prize to give away. Got one last hat. Thank you to our wonderful friend, Miss Stephanie Pitts over there. Stephanie!
There she is.
Hey,
Stephanie!
Let's do it on the. Let's say Stephanie on the count of three, but you got to go Stephanie. You ready? On the count of three. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Stephanie! What? We're just having fun.
Don't give
guys.
us the hand.
Yeah.
We don't want the hand.
Yeah. We got one more hat. This one is going to be. You got to know the answer to this coach question. That's all you got to say, man. Head coach Casey Keeler has won how many home playoff games? Head coach, who said what? That's it. It's 30. He is 30-0
Man,
at
30
home.
games.
30-0 in home playoff day. Here you
there's
go,
the
man.
winner. Come on,
Here's
brother.
the hat. We're going to toss it over there. A little shot toss going your way.
Nice call, man.
Oh, man. Brian, your final thoughts before we sign off, man.
Man, what a just exciting day, exciting ride this has been. Thanks, everybody, for coming up and being a part of this. What a wild ride. Congratulations, Bearcats, all across the country. We won it all.
Let's go, Sam Houston. Ready? Sam Houston! Sam Houston! Sam Houston! Sam Houston! All right, one final time. Your champion Bearcats on the count of 3. Let's say, eat 'em up, Cats. 1, 2, 3. Eat 'em up, Cats! All right. Hey, and let's give a big round of applause to our good friends at Twin Peaks. They have been amazing. We're going to do this again in the fall. Thank you, Twin Peaks. We appreciate them.
Guys
Mr.
are
Ed,
awesome. Thank you.
all the wonderful staff. Again, from everybody, I'll sign off one final time as we thank everyone for being here, reminding you tonight that we're not strong enough alone to make it on our own. We need each other, friends. Provide a word of encouragement. Lend a hand of support. Somebody needs you. Good evening. God bless. From Frisco, Texas, North Huntsville, Texas. We'll see you next time, friends.